And we are live. Welcome to NBA Live Before Lock. Something I didn't realize this morning, Friday the 13th, March 13th, that is. 5-game slate today. They didn't want to give us the full 8, 4 of which locking at 7:30. Our late night hammer for the main starting 30 minutes after that. It's going to be a hell of a day. We got a lot to break down because whatever we think on this show needs to be in at lock. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. 80% of this slate exists and locks at 7:30, and we're going to break it all down over the next hour. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live, and follow us both on Twitter at Josh Engleman, at Chris Spags. What's going on, brother?
Glad to be here on a Friday. Not the end to my residency, I guess, because I do have one more day here doing Live Before Lock tomorrow with EMAC. But I told Josh before the show, didn't want to have a little surprise here. I feel like just celebrating classic Vegas style. Normally I have a beer, Josh, but Alex is out of town. There's no beer in the house. So I'll have a nice classy red wine while we're on stream today. And I can't recall. I feel like and part of the reason I brought it up for you is like, I think if anybody's had red wine on stream before here, it's probably you. But I don't know if anybody's had red wine on stream. I feel like it's not usually very DFS.
I'm holding it right now.
Oh, is that red wine? I can't see because of the glare.
It is. It is.
Cheers. Let's clink. Let's clink. Ooh, clink.
Cheers, brother. I think I fucked my camera up. Yeah, I'm a red wine guy at the end of the night. You know? Feels like a good Friday to the 13th drink for what we're going to do here. I don't really have many, I have one drink a week at this point, if that. So I was just sitting around it's been a long week. I'm going to have a sippy. So I poured this bad boy. I had this ready for myself for 30 minutes ago, as I told you before this stream started. I got here for 7. So this would be more full if I prepared the right way.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, mine's pretty full. Definitely give myself a generous pour here that I'm not going to get to while on stream. But yeah, this is a week for me. I mentioned it with Eric, but I got solo dad duty. And actually, another phone one for you, Josh, before we get to the slate. Might be taking him to Nets Sixers tomorrow because I think the tickets will be cheap and it'd be a good, I think, first game experience to go because of that reason. But they've downgraded everybody. Even Nick Claxton's not playing. So it's
they should put your cheap, kid. Right? Has he been to a game yet?
No, because he's turning 4 next week. So
okay. They should put him in Child Protective Services if you take him to a Nets Sixers game right now as his first game when no one with a pulse plays. That's crazy. That's so rude.
He doesn't know though. That's the thing. It's like he's gonna go and be like, "Oh, Tyrese Maxey, sick. Oh, Michael Porter Jr. is playing." He's not listening to his podcast. He doesn't know. So he's fine.
No, he's gonna listen to you talk about all these awful players on the Nets and think that's good basketball players. These are all the guys that you have posters on your wall of, the dudes that play for the Nets right now, or the guys that are playing for the Sixers right now. They got to take your kid for you for that. You should not be taking him.
I think if he's going to get good seats that might normally be $250 and they're going to go for cheaper last minute because nobody wants to see the Nets play the Sixers at this point, I think it's a big win. I hope it'll be a fun time, assuming that, assuming the ticket prices look good. They're still expensive. Even for a game like that, Josh, if you go through Ticketmaster, it's it is not
just
cheap.
Take him to a G League game. It's the same thing, and it'll cost you $8.
Yeah, that's what some parents said. Is take him to a Temple game or something. But I don't know. Nets Sixers at 1 p.m. on a Saturday feels kind of like kismet to go and do that.
They might let him play. You tell them his name's Luka. They might be confused. They might think he's a prospect for 16 years from now. You might have a shot here. The Nets might be looking into him.
His handle's getting there.
Take him
it's better than I was at 3.5, 4,
Who? Okay. This is Saturday or Sunday?
This would be Saturday. We have a birthday party and we have pool. We have swimming lessons on Sunday. So we have enough activities to get through Sunday.
Is Edgecombe healthy?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, he'll be in. Okay. I was gonna say, is there a single interesting player in the entire game? But VJ Edgecombe counts.
Quentin Grimes.
Like I said, this is just because you have Quentin Grimes poster on your bedroom wall does not mean you should subject your son to that. The 5th best guard on the Sixers.
You can see my other beautiful son, Quentin. They can meet in midcourt, exchange jerseys.
Honestly, Luka might just get jealous of you drooling all over these shitty Nets and shitty Sixers.
Yeah, it is my kind of game. I mean, I no DFS, I think, but I'm not going to play a showdown for it. I'm not that kind of person for a Saturday afternoon. But yeah, it is my kind of game. Let's see the future of the NBA on full display.
Is this slate your kind of slate? We got Marvin Bagley, 16% owned with some negative leverage, and then 4 Houston Rockets, because there is no Alperen Şengün today. Amen Thompson, Kevin Durant, Reed Shepherd, Jabari Smith, your next 4 highest owned guys. We got a lot more to talk about. Tari Eason is there as well. Do you have any idea where you want to start today? Because I don't.
Yeah, I'm pulled into Houston data. So taking my first look here, obviously got distracted talking about this wonderful thing going on in my life for 10 minutes to open the show. For Houston, though, I mean, I feel like Clint Capella now add him to what was already the best position, I feel like, on the slate. Like Bagley, I like a little bit more than, some of the other data I think has been out there today. Stokastic was fading at least earlier in the Sims today. I liked him. I like Mitchell Robinson with no cat. I think that spot's really good with how he's produced all year. And now you are getting, Clint Capella, who's been really productive on the year at 1.02 fantasy points a minute, counting for the matchups today and who's available, that total going against New Orleans. And I'm at 1.08 today. So even getting 22 minutes, that's a pretty good projection on Clint Capella at 3,100. So everybody else looks better too. Reed Shepherd getting more minutes because they'll probably go small a little bit more. Jabari Smith looks better for whatever time he'll play at the 5. I just think the team looks infinitely more appealing now. And they already looked like one of the best teams on the slate, even with Şengün in.
Sam Merrill out. Just got that news right now. So he was questionable. We do have a few questionable tags left. Unfortunately, they're all in this game and this game only. That would be Memphis and Detroit. Gigi Jackson, Jalen Wells, Taj Gibson, the G League guys from the Pistons, Jalen Duren, and Tobias Harris. Otherwise, we've really hashed out most of this at this point. We'll probably we might do a fun voting game or something when we get around to center, because we've got a 60% optimal Mitchell Robinson. We've got a 40% optimal Marvin Bagley. We've got a 40% optimal Clint Capella. They are 4K, 4,400, and 3,100 respectively. You can only play 2 of the 3 no matter what because they're centers. And that says nothing for any other center that is on today's slate. Who do you leave out of that group of 3?
Give me the 3 again. Sorry.
Robinson, Bagley, Capella.
Yeah, that's a tough one. So I'm rerunning Sims, so I can't give the Sim forward answer yet. But sure. I do think for me, I mean, I had Mitchell Robinson being in my data like a 66% play, Bagley at 70. I think that those two have to come down a little bit. If I had to guess, I'm going to favor Mitchell Robinson when I rerun stuff. Right. Actually, I'll just rerun it right now. But I think for how it looks for me, Bagley willing to come down on, I question the minutes a little bit there. Like he really hasn't played, high 20s, even, definitely not 30 plus minutes in a while now. So I think for him, even though there is all the opportunity in the world when you are down as many bigs as they are, it does seem like maybe the minutes a little more capped, whereas Capella, I think, can play more. Mitchell Robinson, I think, can play more. And even if he doesn't, he could be so productive per minute that it might not matter versus an Indiana team that's got not a whole lot left. So I think for how it goes, I'd probably rank it for myself. Capella's price tag is really appealing, but I think I'd still go Mitchell Robinson. I think I'd go him 1, Capella 2, and then Bagley 3. But you could talk me into flipping that at 1 and 2.
Okay. We might have to vote on this one a little bit later. Maybe we'll throw a bunch of centers into the pool. We'll see what chat's thinking. We'll see where this all ends up, because that's tricky. I mean, we've got 3 legitimate pay down option centers, including Clint Capella, who is basically free today. Does not take much to get there. And, the Pels tend to run no center, or they'll bring in 4 of them off the bench, but typically not in a starting lineup, which is a conversation for another day. But this conversation all just leaves out the fact that Evan Mobley can be played at center, although he has power forward eligibility. He's 8,200. Jalen Duren, if he plays, is 7,900 against a Memphis team that does not have people capable of stopping Jalen Duren, I think, and he is unowned. Ivica Zubac is not going to play enough minutes for the Indiana Pacers today, so I don't think we need to go on that journey. But now we're done. Pay up options. There are only two people that are even close to payups with center eligibility today, and that's $8,200 Mobley. And if Duren is gone, your next most expensive center is Jakob Poeltl. So to a degree, I think Clint Capella is less interesting on this slate because I don't really think his salary is gaining me anything at this point. Like his value, like the next best center is already cheap. And you've already got two guys that are like on his corner. He's a little scary. Like, I think you really need him to overplay. And I don't mean like overplay from a, like, oh, he was a 2 fantasy point per minute guy. Like, I think you really want more minutes for Capella because I don't think the salary matters as much.
I mean, I still think if you play a guy at 3,100, I mean, you don't have to be paying up for Jokic. Obviously, you know, he's on the slate, but like that kind of player. I mean, Cade would be the most obvious one to get a lot of that salary that's available, but you could go like, you know, a guy like tonight, Jalen Brunson. You could pair him with Donovan Mitchell. You could get, like you mentioned, Mobley. You could play him at power forward if you wanted. I think you can spend the money. Durant, you can play at small forward. You could build a lineup that makes the most of that money, I think, with Capella. And for me now, just reround the sim as we were talking, I would have Capella being the highest out of the three now. Bagley and Mitchell pretty much dead even for me, which I'm a little bit surprised by. But I was Stokastic giving Bagley 25.9 minutes, Mitchell getting 24.2. That does put me a little bit closer to Bagley than I would have thought based on some of the previous data. But I think Capella at 3,100, I mean, there's just nobody else on the slate near him price tag wise. So I'd be willing to roll the dice that you can get 3 or 4 of those 8 to 10K guys in one lineup. And Capella kind of is the only player that allows you to do that.
Au contraire, he does not have to be the only player that allows you to do that. What happens if Jalen Duren doesn't play and a $3,500 Paul Reed appears out of the ether?
Let's see. I mean, Paul Reed for today. Well, wouldn't it be the mega chalk like Isaiah Stewart more so at 4,400 in power forward center?
Okay, let's just say Paul Reed's the backup center. Is he a better play than Clint Capella is today? I mean, he's Paul a much Reed better per minute, dude.
He's averaging 1.3 fantasy points a minute on the year. You know, counting for the matchup today, I'd have him at 1.4. I mean, they have a really nice total. I think the price would make him pretty close to Capella. I just like, do you feel as good about Paul Reed off the bench when they have Jerkus minutes around? It seems like they like having him a little more stable these days, but they have done it in the past and they could play Stewart a ton. Like, it would worry me a little bit. Whereas, you know, for Mitchell Robinson, I have no concern at all. You know, for Bagley, some concern on minutes, but he's probably getting you at least 24. And then Capella, I think, got to start and probably also get you around 24. So for Paul Reed, can he get me 24? I don't know if he can.
If he gives you 20 at 1.3, that's 26 fantasy points. At the moment, that'd be 3.5 more than Clint Capella.
As a median outcome.
I'm just like, he's going to be sitting there. And if, hold on, I got to let my dog out.
If my dog
Duren, if Jalen Duren gets ruled out, Paul Reed is going to add himself to a list of 4. And that 3-person pay down center equation becomes a 4-person pay down equation. Jalen Wells out. Is this about to happen for Memphis? Let's just get to it now. G.G. Jackson out. Give me Taj Gibson out. Walter Clayton out. That one we weren't confused on. No Taj? Do they have to wake him up? Or Taj Gibson available to make his Grizzlies debut today.
What an unserious
Did Taj Gibson start playing before the Grizzlies were in the league? Was he here before 1993? Did he play in Vancouver? Jalen Duren available to play. Fuck the Paul Reed stuff. It doesn't matter now.
Where did he go to college, though?
Where did who go to college?
Taj Gibson.
Obviously, you know. They'll take anybody, realistically. I mean, anybody could really go there. Their alumni are just not all that interesting to hear speak about DFS, that's for sure.
Oh, I mean, I think Taj Gibson, if I'm remembering correctly, was part of like a really good run the year that Kevin Durant was in the tournament. But I might be like conflating things there. But yeah, Taj Gibson, proud USC alum, just like me. Yeah,
Taj Gibson was an actual Trojan. He was in the horse. That's how old this dude is. Tobias Harris out, Jalen Duren in.
Oh. How is he still on a 10-day deal? Isn't that shit? Wasn't it like 3 months ago? Like he signed his 10-day deal. I think the other one's expired in the same period that he already had his.
I'm not even joking around here. Are you positive it was with the Grizzlies? Did he have a different one?
No, he's been on this 10-day, like, because he missed the games. Like he hasn't played a single game for them all year. And I feel like it's been like 4 or 5 games that he's missed.
He's on a 2-year rest of the season contract.
So he's not a 10-day.
No. They signed the 40-year-old and 8-month-old Taj Gibson to a 2-year deal. Is that a guarantee? Okay, he's got a non-guarantee for $3.8 million next year. Spoiler alert, they're not going to pick that up.
Hey, maybe it depends how he plays tonight.
Yeah, sure. While he's playing alongside, hold on, don't let me get the name wrong, DeJon Jarreau, who will potentially make his debut for the Memphis Grizzlies, who is also on what I believe is another hardship contract.
Yeah. I mean, I love Taj, not just the USC thing. He also was the guy that was the center. That was my pivot. I had like a low-owned Jason Tatum, and I had Taj Gibson when he was a Knick pivoting off of Nerlens Noel the day I won almost 60K, my biggest DFS win. So I will always hold Taj Gibson in some esteem for that. Even though I agree that he is a joke and the Grizzlies are a joke. And I think it's fun. They figured out like the way to tank is just to not have good center play and just allow teams to do whatever they want in the middle. And Taj Gibson will be a part of that tonight. So that's fun.
You know who won't be a part of it tonight? Ryan Rupert, who is not going to be available for the Memphis Grizzlies tonight. Yeah. I think we should talk pay-ups now because it's barely a pay-up slate. And I think that's where it starts to get a little bit weirder because the most expensive guy on today's slate is Cade Cunningham at $10,900. He is the only guy above 10K, and he's like 10% owned. Then you get to Donovan Mitchell and James Harden. I have no idea how to separate those guys from a DFS perspective. To me, it's like the same ownership, the same optimal, the same boom, just a problem. Brunson gets no Towns, and he is obviously picking up a bunch of ownership. Looks fantastic. Booker went crazy yesterday, unowned today. Durant, massive ownership, massive optimal, massive everything with no Şengün in this matchup against the Pels. And then it largely tapers off before getting to Evan Mobley, who feels kind of weird being 20% owned along with Mitchell, along with Harden, but 8,200 kind of feels good. What do you like here as the pay up? Or do you want to go even further down and just like lock in Amen Thompson and rotate around it? It's a weird night tonight for pay ups.
Yeah, I mean, I think Durant right now is the guy that's coming up the most for me. I mean, the fact that the rates seem to take a pretty decent jump up, as you'd expect for having no Şengün, that looks like a thing that stands out. Based on my data right now, he's averaging 1.2 fantasy points per minute, 32% usage. Just feels like the spot against the Pelicans as well. Like even with Şengün in, I was willing to be with the field on Durant today, if not above it, just because it could be one of those games where he puts up like 14 for 16, gets the line, gets a few. I mean, he can't get stocks, but he could also just get rebounds and assists that he doesn't always get. It just seems like it's on the table against the Pelicans. So the fact that we're getting Şengün now makes that a lot easier too. So right now he's in almost half my lineups, but he's in half the fields as well. So nothing too crazy there. I also just like getting Brunson, about 33% of my lineups, maybe closer to 25 in this run I just got here. I think that seems like a decent number. James Harden, I'm with you. Mitchell kind of put a little bit of distance with Merrill being marked out. I think that makes him look a little bit better than James Harden, but Harden's been terrible in some of these small groups for the Cavs. Like he's averaging under 1 fantasy point per minute with Jared Allen off the court this year. And I don't know what's going on with that in particular. Definitely deferring a lot usage wise, but I know you mentioned he could be a power forward right now, but he really has not been the same James Harden at this point of the year. And I'm still playing him like he's old James Harden, but I think at this point you might be better off just playing Donovan Mitchell more and hoping that he hits the ceiling. They both definitely have one, going against Dallas. But I think in terms of just like which guys I prefer, it's Durant. I mean, it's Amen Thompson now as well. Both those guys to me around 50% plays. Mobley, it's too easy to afford him. I think at power forward center is the issue. But he looks a little bit better as well with no Merrill. I don't know. Cade Cunningham's the only one I'm really not getting, and Scotty Barnes, those two.
Cade feels weird, right? I found him interesting yesterday. They were just too good compared to Philly. He didn't have to participate in that game at all, just dimed a bunch of people up. Could that be the problem again today? Or is he like, all right, I took off yesterday, I'm going to beat the shit out of Memphis tonight? I find him interesting because he's there's no struggle whatsoever to want to roster Cade today. Like, we went through all the center ownership. That value alone should make it not all that difficult. I'm going to pull up the single lineup sim for a sec and then just grab the optimal, which clearly doesn't contain him. Brunson, Shepherd, Durant, everyone's favorite power forward, Keon Ellis, Mitchell Robinson, Amen Thompson, RJ Barrett, Clint Capella. If I create another lineup and just simply lock Cade, this wasn't a big swap earlier today. Okay, it's more extreme now, but the ownership discount is really appealing. You lose 5 points off the optimal by locking Cade. That's a pretty sizable drop by going to him. You also shave 45% of the sum ownership, which I do think is appealing. Keeps that man Keon Ellis in here. And you still maintain Durant and Amen Thompson. So the value's out there. Clint Capella, Mitchell Robinson is the combo there. So we are keeping that 3K center. I just feel like Cade's going slept on a little bit for what this slate is. He doesn't project well. I get it.
Yeah, I'm always low on Cade, so it's a little bit tough for me to really make a big case for him. I do think, you've seen the good parts where, he can have a game where he puts up 70 fantasy points while shooting like 6 for 24, like putting up old school Kobe numbers. I'm sorry. Don't need to work up the Kobe fans. They've had a tough week. But like he's putting up just like those kind of box scores with, a little more rebounding, a little more assist upside. For Cade Cunningham going against Memphis, like Memphis is one of those teams that even when they are shorthanded, they can be competitive. They were awful in that first half yesterday versus Dallas, and they clawed back, made it a game. That's Dallas. But I think for Cade, Memphis is maybe a team that's good enough to get him pushing things a little bit more. But like you mentioned, as you mentioned this morning on the strategy show, as well as just now, I think for Cade, it is like a thing where Detroit's probably a little bit too good currently, and Cade's, upside's a little bit wrapped up in that. But he didn't do anything well, last time out. So I think trying to go back there today, definitely not the craziest thing in the world at 10% ownership.
Yeah, I wish he projected a little bit better. I do like the path of pay up to be contrarian, especially on a day where it's not like I'm going to late swap into something better. Like there's no saving grace on today. It's, maybe you swap again at 8 o'clock, but even realistically, unless ownership is wildly different in the contest than we expected, there's not even going to be much utility there. I kind of like the idea of just grabbing him and letting the chips fall as they may tonight, just because I don't know who I prefer otherwise outside of the obvious, like Durant, Amen Thompson, like these situations where they're clear, Brunson without Towns. Like those three guys stand out. I don't think anybody else stands out. I think I want Cade to be that next guy. I don't know who else I would pick.
I'm getting above the field on Cade now, just reran stuff, so I could give a little more, I guess, true to life take. I'm getting Cade at 16%, and I feel like the field's at 10, getting, 0.1.6x that feels like about enough for me. If you were 20%, 30, I think that's more than enough Cade. But I do like getting some looks there. It's just everything for me is going more towards the kind of balance builds with Durant, with Amen Thompson, with Mobley. Surprised to see Mobley coming up as much as he is. I don't know why Merrill being out is impacting him as favorably as it seems to, at least in my data.
Do you have a guy today? Like a Spags guy?
This guy's not a Spags guy only because actually I have one that's a Spags guy. Ty Jerome playing more minutes lately. Price tag is up, but he's coming up a lot for me here. Field's only at 6%. They're kind of just letting him play now. Seems like the hamstring stuff, if not all the way behind him, the minutes cap has grown each game. And he's been such a great producer. I mean, you're talking about guys in the league overall. Ty Jerome, you might know this offhand, Josh, but Ty Jerome, fantasy points per minute, where does he rank right now amongst everybody?
I mean, it's got to be very, very high.
Top 5.
I wouldn't have guessed that high, but yeah, I'm not surprised by it.
He is currently right behind Luka, Giannis, Wemby, and Jokic in reverse order, and just ahead of SGA and Kawhi. So do we think that holds forever? Probably not, but he is one of those guys that's so effective per minute, and because they're keeping the minutes within a reasonable range, I think he can keep being that effective. Against Detroit, does feel like a time maybe you could find your floor a little bit, so I'm not going to go nuts on him. But 6% ownership, I mean, I think I could go to 33 and not feel bad about it.
Your boy. Look, I can't with a per minute rate like that. I'm always willing to take a flyer on something there because if you get blessed with a minute or two extra more than you thought, that compounds in a big way. So I can't for this one, I can't say anything. This one's good.
Right. Seems Ty Jerome. Though I do need to fix my projection on him though, because I think they're currently missing Memphis minutes because of Jerome being in. I gotta assign those to somebody because that's gonna make Ty Jerome level out a little bit more than he currently is with my data.
I'm gonna refresh this data for a second, and then we've got something to talk about because we've got up-to-date data right now. It's in the props tool as well. And this is a tool that you can use 100% of our projections that I have up on the data hub. You could use 0 of the projections. You could use the entire market. I feel bad. I'm not on Live After Lock today. The past 2 days of Live After Lock, we hit a 6-0 prize picks card. We went 5-1 yesterday thanks to Nick Claxton not showing back up in the fourth quarter. We're absolutely smashing, and all we're doing is taking these plays directly out of this tool. I built the cards while we're on Live After Lock, shared them on Tails, dropped the links to you guys, and I know some of you joined me. We can make that process even easier today. You can sign up for the props tool using the promo code PROPS7. This link is in the description of the video right now. You click that link, you'll head to Stokastic. You won't pay a dime for the props tool. You're going to get the next 7 days for free. So everything that we're looking at here, everything that Greg is going to be doing after this show for Live After Lock, he's going to be in this props tool. I promise you that. You guys can be using it alongside Greg right now. Just sign up. Use that promo code, PROPS7. You will pay nothing for the next week. Makes it super easy for you guys to get in here and check out what we've got going on the props tool. You can use a blend if you want. Maybe you go 50-50. Maybe you want to get in here and edit rates. Maybe you look at this and you think, I don't think Josh Giddey, or maybe we'll go to Phoenix and we'll say, I don't think Jakob Poeltl is going to play 29 minutes. I think he's going to play 25. Well, you just change those minutes, apply those changes, and then every prop is just going to update itself. Or you could refresh that and get away from everything you just did. Everything is at your fingertips, and you can dig in and do whatever it is you want at sportsbooks, pick'em sites, prediction mark, like wherever you're going, we've got it covered here, and it's totally free. Link in the description. Where do we go from here?
I fixed Ty Jerome a little bit, so I feel better about that for the people that are out there paying for my projections through Tails. One of the spots you could do that. No plug really, because like Ty Jerome, I accidentally gave 47 fantasy points to, and I had to knock that down just a little bit, Josh.
I wasn't even going to go crazy on that one because the dude just is raining fantasy points at this point. So it's at least that one. I like, he's been doing it for a year and change, not he did it for the last week, you know? I like that one for once.
He's
I like these
he's
super
star
chats too.
Star my 2K team. Sorry, go to the super chat. But somebody asked before, how's my 2K team? He's a star. He should be an MVP. He's getting like 15 and 15 a game, points and assists, 5-minute quarters. Oof. Ty Jerome, Mamma Mia.
Just throwing lobs to Tyler Smith.
It's actually a lot of pick and fades. We're getting a lot of guys open for three as our game. It's Indiana basketball.
Langston Cole with the super chat. He said, my birthday wish. Just wish all in chat success tonight. Thanks, Josh, Lindy, Spags, Greg. Love the show, guys. Top 3 DraftKings must plays in single entry. This is a tough question for today. Because 5 of the top 6 plays today in optimal rate all come from Houston. It feels like Mitchell Robinson has to be one of the answers.
Yeah. I I mean, I would say Capella, I think, for me over Mitchell Robinson based on what I'm getting in the data now.
Okay. What is your must play Rocket then? Would that be Durant, Thompson, or is it just Capella for you? Or is it Reed Shepherd, I guess? Like what
It actually
how are
would.
you
So,
okay?
yeah.
You give me 3 and I'll give 3. Let's do that.
In order for me of the Rockets, it would be Reed Shepherd 1 currently, Capella 2, and then I'm in a little bit behind Durant. So actually, no,
Okay.
and actually Durant's a little bit behind Jabari Smith. Jabari Smith would be my 3rd, but I'm getting a lot of all 5, but Jabari Smith is my 3rd.
So who are your must 3 single entry plays? Not just the Rockets then.
Single entry, I think, would be Capella. I'd say Reed Shepherd for me at this point, and one of Durant and Amin Thompson, whichever one you prefer.
Okay. I'm going to say Mitchell Robinson because he's the number 1 optimal guy in our stuff at this moment. I'm going to take Amen Thompson just because of the point guard position. And my 3rd, sheesh. It's got Reed Shepherd because of the MPE. So my 3 are Mitchell Robinson, Reed Shepherd, Amen Thompson. It's tough at the top today because of Houston.
Yeah, and we got a lot of those guys. I get it.
Yobi Trice said, please redo the toast. Josh didn't make the clink. I clinked my glass off my camera. I sure
thought you did a
make
great
the
clink.
Yeah, it's noise cancellation. What am I supposed to do here? What should we like more, Jerome or Small on FanDuel? Also, anything on New York and Indy? Lots of guys out there. Let me pull this up on the FanDuel side. Raptors will start quickly. Barnes, Ingram, Barrett, Pirtle, obviously. Suns will start Gillespie, Green, Booker, O'Neal, Iguodaro. Got it. Okay, Ty Jerome is 7K on FanDuel, 6% owned, 9% optimal. Small is 2 and 3. Yeah, that's going to be Jerome on FanDuel. Although extra $1,000. So
yeah, I have Jerome barely ahead, but I think he's a better play on DK for some of the. I guess he does get some steals, but the 3-point upside I think does help him out a little bit on DK. But I'd have Jerome and Small very close on FanDuel, despite their price tags being a grand apart. I would slightly favor Jerome though.
okay. And then anything for New York and Indy. I mean, Brunson looks great for no Towns. The only guy really pulling any juice on Indy today on FanDuel is Pistons will start Cunningham, Sasser, Robinson, Green, and Duran. TJ McConnell, the only guy getting any love on the FanDuel side. That terrifies me to no end. I don't like that at all.
Nick's side looks pretty good to me. I mean, at least, in terms of getting ownership, if not, getting above the field on. But like Brunson, I could see about 30% on FanDuel, Anunoby 25, Mitchell Robinson 40. Cale Bridges 18 or so. Shamet 20. And they all seem like okay plays. None of them, cores or anything on FanDuel.
So obviously we'll get the update for no Tobias Harris, and we'll get the green piece in there. Green piece, that's funny. Vinny T, Ty Jerome, silkiest white boy in NBA because Virginia national champs. Might be mildly biased with that avatar, but you never know. You never know.
Does
Craziness.
Javonte Green starting help or hurt Ron Holland? Because Ron Holland is popping up in the data before. Now we got some bodies missing. I know Beef Stew's going to come down a little bit, but Javonte is going to come up as a play, and I think that does make Ron Holland a more contrarian play than he seemed like he'd be earlier.
Yeah, I mean, he'll probably be around 10% owned, and at least based on what we had before, look like a pretty interesting option as a pay down power forward. Javonte Green gets in the mix at that point. Balmer says, playing 3 Rockets, Pelicans run back. If so, who?
DeJounte.
Yeah, if it's somebody, it's DeJounte, I think. Highest boom, highest optimal. KGDR gave us the FanDuel by position question. I'm going to wait that out until our next update hits, and then we'll rip through it. Because we got to get that Tobias Harris piece situated. So I don't want to hit that until we're updated. Yeah, I mean, I guess I shouldn't bitch as much about Keon Ellis. I did forget to mention this one, which has been talked about. Herb Jones, center only on DraftKings.
I didn't even notice.
That's a position. Center only. He doesn't play anywhere else. Nowhere else. The only position that Herb Jones plays for the New Orleans Pelicans is just center. Derek Queen never plays it, actually. He's a power forward.
I mean, I was kind of against your Keon Ellis take because of the fact that, like, he's not really playing lead ball handler anymore. He is kind of playing on the wing. He's not a power forward. I agree with that. But, like,
he weighs 180 pounds, man.
Yeah, but they're still playing him like he's a wing defender.
No, they're playing James Harden like he's a wing or like a post defender. James Harden's guarding the other team's point guard. Absolutely. He hasn't guarded another team's point guard in 15 years.
I suppose.
James Harden guards the shittiest, biggest dude on the other team.
He's lazy. I get it. But, Keon Ellis is still like a guy that's not, he's not like he's, creating offense a ton or at this stage of his game. He's going to
guard Kevin Durant. He's going to guard Kevin Durant, Evan Mobley in these games. What are we talking about here? Point guard or point guard, shooting guard are the only 2 options for Keon Ellis.
I think he could be, with the guys have been putting lately at shooting guard, small forward. I think that'd be more appropriate. But I think you make the case just small forward. He's just not leading. He's not leading the offense at all. He's not really doing like guard work. He's not a shooting guard, really.
He's a guard. The 6'3", 180-pound dude. He's built like me. And I should not be a power forward in the NBA. Crazy.
Sell yourself short.
No, I will sell myself very, very, very short. There are many things against me for the NBA. Shamit birthday game. Shout out Sham V, I guess.
His game is more like the flop flag kind of game where he was so bad as chalk last time out, played 30 minutes. He just could play a little bit better this time out with a little more usage go around too with no cat. Birthday. I don't care much for Landry Shamit's birthday specifically. His birthday is the only one I don't really want to hear about.
Mavs will start Nemhard, Christie, Marshall, Flag, and Bagley. Pacers will start Nemhard, Neesmith, Brown, Walker, and Zubats. So back-to-back lineups with a Nemhard at the starting point guard spot is always a good time.
And not the second half, though. God forbid Andrew Nemhard comes out in the second half of a game when he's got 30 fantasy points at halftime. You gotta know, let's play Cam Jones then, guys. That's not tanking obvious at all.
Okay, so we had Toppin starting, only giving him 16 minutes. Kobe Brown is starting. We had already given him 25 minutes. He is a 0.74 fantasy point per minute guy. I don't think that's going to unlock too much for Kobe Brown, but realistically, I guess he'll look a little bit better. And then we just got one more lineup here. Grizzlies will start Jerome, Spencer, Coward, Hendricks, Prosper. We had Jerome, Small, Coward, Prosper, Wells. So Small and Wells out. Spencer and Hendricks in.
Spencer, very efficient per minute, but it doesn't seem like he can play even high 20s minutes with a lot of regularity because he's started before, and I feel like I've done this dance to them enough times lately. But yeah, that's a little bit of a different lineup. No Gigi Jackson, I think, impacted things there. But Small, I would say out of play now, playing off the bench.
Yeah, Spencer will look a little bit better here. But I mean, realistically, like, you're not getting to the Grizzlies today, which is funny to think about after yesterday. Mastermind Magruder, 4,900 or less for a forward on DraftKings. Oh, we got the update, 709 and 710. So we can start to take a look at that original update. Mastermind Magruder, I'm going to get back. You know what? We could hit that immediately. That's a fast answer. Forward. 4,900 or less. Ron Holland. 3,800 Ron Holland is our third highest optimal at this moment. That's going to be Ron Holland.
Yeah, even without the data fully updating, because I haven't pulled it in yet, I would say probably Ron Holland as well.
All right, we're going to loop back to hit the top plays on FanDuel by position. Point guard is going to be, depending on how you want to use Amen Thompson and Reed Shepherd, they are both available at point guard and shooting guard. Jalen Brunson is your best point guard only representative, but just a hair ahead of Cade Cunningham. They are both pretty close and optimal. Do you have anything else you want to mention at point guard, or are you working to get some stuff updated right now?
Just Reed Shepherd, I would throw in at point guard again. Just think that he's a solid play there. But I'm with you on those guys as well.
Okay. Thompson and Shepherd are there at shooting guard. It's the same situation there. DeJounte Murray is also kind of interesting at shooting guard, as is James Harden. As we get to small forward, it starts to open up a little bit differently. Kevin Durant is going to be your primary here or at power forward, as is Tari Eason. They are both the highest owned and optimal guys. Ron Holland now for value is going to be a bit of a priority on the FanDuel side at both small forward and power forward. The power forward side is kind of the same, but then you start getting the center dudes as well. So Jabari Smith at 6K is pretty highly owned and optimal. Evan Mobley is pretty highly owned and optimal. And obviously the guys that we mentioned that are getting that small forward eligibility. Finally, at center, you've got center only Mitchell Robinson at 4,400 as the leader in our optimal. Again, you can play Jabari Smith and Evan Mobley here. Isaiah Stewart seems fine. $4,200 Clint Capella also on the list.
Yeah, beef stew. Definitely more in play on FanDuel, I think.
Absolutely. Ellis and Harden or Barrett and Shepherd on DraftKings. I'm almost positive that's Barrett and Shepherd.
Yeah, definitely Barrett and Shepherd for me.
Yeah, Barrett and Shepherd, not close. All right, hit that like button if you haven't done it yet, folks. 1,900 and change people in the door, and you're getting Greg Ehrenberg back for Live After Lock coming up next in about 16 minutes. He's going to be taking you guys through everything. If you need to late swap in 30 minutes, you're going to be able to do that with Greg. He's also going to be able to find a bunch of bets in the props tool on Odds Shopper, maybe do some live betting if he gets the opportunity. Can't beat it. Make sure you're hanging out for Greg. Make sure you're hitting the like button for Greg. Good to have him back for today. All right, we've got our most recent update. We've got our guys at the top of the optimal tier. Clint Capella is at the top of that list. Mitchell Robinson is at the top of the list. We still have all the Houston dudes showing up here, but Ron Holland, 3,800, power forward eligible. Now that Tobias Harris is out, about a fantasy point per minute, 23 and a half minutes projected, 28% boom rate. That Ron Holland value looks pretty good. And I got to say, it makes me like Cade even more now.
Yeah, Cade came up definitely enough for me to be playable above the field, almost 2x, not quite. And Holland, I'm going to probably knock him down a little bit, but he's making more than a third of my lineup. So you're Ron Holland, the flexibility there, I think, for him. Power forward, not the greatest position in the world either. That helps him out a little bit. But yeah, I still like Capella a lot. I will say, no matter what's moved around here, Capella's still popping for me. But I think these other guys definitely becoming more valid plays if you're not trying to go to Clint Capella's way.
Knicks will start Brunson, Shamet, Bridges, Anunoby, and Robinson. Forgot to read that one off before. I didn't see the pop-up.
Why do you think the projected ownership for Mitchell Robinson is so low today?
Not sure. I think center might just be a real weird scenario given the value that we have today.
Okay. It's just like 13% to me seems impossible. Like just with what a good per minute producer he's been, the fact that he can theoretically gets to high 20s minutes if things go the right way. And even if he doesn't, like he's just so productive per minute that he could be good. I think he's going to be higher owned than 13, but like I'm going to be, same. I think the field gets like 25 would be my guess.
I'm fully expecting it to, if we get another run here, to to take a pretty big jump up. I would expect it to be closer to where we have the optimal more than anything else. For in the 40s is what I'm expecting. I'm assuming this is just a lagged refresh here.
Gotcha.
I'm paying closer attention to the optimal rate right now until that recalibrates itself. But I do think the dynamic of center is complicated with Capella, Robinson, and Bagley. Like, one of those guys is going to be much more owned, and one of those guys is going to be much less owned. And I don't think we really know what that's going to look like by the time we get there. But there is going to be a dynamic in that. I don't think this is. I think this is going to recalibrate itself.
Yeah, I'm up on Capella, but getting 50% of Mitchell Robinson and Bagley, and I feel like that's good. Like, I think Capella to me makes the most sense as the cheap guy. That, to me, if he gets high 20s minutes, I think it would be impossible for him not to hit. Yeah, Mitchell Robinson, Bagley, also good, and I want to get them in half my lineups. I'm cool with that.
Is there anybody we haven't talked about yet that you've got some interest in? Anybody that popping up in your Sims, or maybe on the opposite end, anybody that you're not getting that is popular? Do you have any crazy fades at the moment?
I am totally out on RJ Barrett and Tari Eason, which does not feel great for Eason in particular, given the fact that he has had some down games lately. And it does seem with all the Houston ownership you have, if Eason has an outlier day, then, certainly that would be a way to get more unique and get leverage on some of the other players on the team. But yeah, Barrett at 30% ownership, he just has such a low sim rate for me relatively with my projection that I'm not getting there as much. And then Eason, similar thing here, where I still think he's like a 20% play, but because I could play other guys and afford, more expensive players with the value on the slate, I'm not getting there. So yeah, Barrett and Eason, if you want to fade me today, I know sometimes the chat, I'm sure would love to do that. Those two, just load them up because, Barrett sucked so much last time. He's probably due to hit today.
I mean, pretty sizable negative leverage on Barrett right now, just a 16% optimal guy. I don't think that's all that crazy. The Eason one scares me just because I don't know what to trust for Houston. Like, there's just so much coming into those guys. We're obviously going to get one or two of them that are massive busts for what today is. I don't think it's crazy that it's Eason. I don't have much to say on that one. I kind of like RJ Barrett today, just in general, because of the position. We didn't really talk a ton about small forwards other than Durant. But Eason, yeah, I'm cool with it. You got to get away from something for Houston. Like, you can't have them all, I don't think.
Yeah, and when those things happen naturally for me, I do just kind of let them ride. Part of me is like, especially with Barrett being so bad as Mega Chalk last time out, or so mediocre, I guess is a better way to say it. I think that going there again makes sense to me, but you got to make your stand somewhere. And how could I play all this Reed Shepherd if I'm playing RJ Barrett and Tari Eason?
Who is do you have a pay up that you didn't expect to be getting? That was my only question. We just got a projections update, by the way, so I'm figuring ownership is coming in right now.
Yeah, I'll do one more run there. In terms of pay up options for me, let me just check things out real fast. Donovan Mitchell is still coming up more than I would have thought. He's now past James Harden a good amount in my sim. Got him 2x the amount of James Harden. So that was a separation that was not occurring earlier before Merrill got ruled out. Some of the minutes got moved around. Jalen Brunson getting a good amount of Durant. I mean, nothing surprising, really. I guess more Mitchell and such a clearly defined way over Harden, I think, is probably correct with how Harden's played so far as a Cav. But I've been treating these guys like the same player on most slates, so it does feel a little bit weird for how I've been playing them lately.
Corey Randall said, so Taj isn't starting? Basketball Monster shows Taylor Hendricks. Yeah, it's always been Taylor. Well, it's been Taylor Hendricks since they announced the lineup, at least. I don't think we were ever assuming it was Taj.
Maybe one of the apps had him, but never, as Josh always points out, don't listen to your gambling site for your news. If you did see a alert or something before that.
Maybe that was just because we were talking about Taj a little bit more than we probably should have been.
It was a 5-minute segment on Taj Gibson, which, again, lots of fun reasons why. I hope Taj knows that.
Look, sometimes life just takes you on a journey you weren't ready for. And in that particular case, it was talking about Taj Gibson, who is my age. It happens, man. It happens. Chat wants a nuke of the night. I'll oblige. Nuke of the night time, folks. We don't have Eric, but we do have Chris Spags here to hand out his favorite nuke.
Oh, is that just the intro? Okay.
That's the intro, man.
I mean, look, I've hit on Jalen Wells twice this week. I can't hit on him again, so I got to go to somebody else. I mean, look, I feel like, okay, Clint Capella, I got to update the ownership. No, this is correct. He's at 25% ownership. Is that nuke of the night range? I feel like Mitchell Robinson and Capella at 25 and 15 are nuke of the nights more than they are like chalk.
Maybe not today. I think you're gonna see something different there. I'd go a different direction.
Okay. All right. Yeah, for me, then relative to the ownership, I'm just going through everything here because I'm rerunning the sim as we speak. I think my nuke of the night pick would be. Do you have anyone top of mind for you? Because I'm willing to defer.
Part of me wants to take Tari Eason just to be a dickhead. That sounds like it'd be a real good time for you talking about not having as much of him.
Sure.
Part of me wanted to go Keon Ellis just because of the blasphemy about his positions for earlier today. Not going to do that either. What I'm going to do here is take somebody that legitimately I didn't think that I would take. And I know how it looks on the projection screen right now, but I'm feeling kind of confident in what this guy is going to do today. And I've got to represent a nice gentleman from Duke University. Marvin Bagley III is going to be the nuke of the night for tonight. I think he's just going to have a big day. I think he's going to be the pay down center that you want, more so than Capella, more so than Mitchell Robinson. Marvin Bagley finally getting there, however many years later. Oh, we've got a guest. Friend of the program in the door. Hi.
Hi. Do you want to do my nuke of the night pick, Luca? Who should we pick as the best basketball player tonight?
Oh no, here comes a bad net.
Which one would I pick? I don't think my friend Josh here gets to get away with Marvin Bagley. I feel like that was he's too highly owned to be a nuke of the night. But I will go with, I guess I'll go with Ty Jerome. I talked about him earlier. Do you think at his ownership, we can take that shot at 25-30% ownership and hope that there's upside? Here he picks Ty Jerome too. He's never heard the name Ty Jerome before, but he knows quality when he hears it. So Ty Jerome is our nuke of the night collectively for the Spagnolo, man.
You gotta love it, man. You got a Ty Jerome season. I can't say anything bad if he's taking Ty Jerome. That would be rude. I cannot be that person here. So
this is what you agree with too. So that's a positive. Like we're all on the same page that Ty Jerome's a good play today.
I do think Ty Jerome is a good play today. I can't say a word here. Quality nuke of the night from Luca here. Using that thinking cap.
F5? There we go.
Needs to open a Tails account, man. Got to get him on a Tails account.
I think the team of lawyers at Stokastic would maybe not think that's a great idea if I had to guess.
Come on. Who's going to know? Who's going to know? We could hide it underneath a daycare center and that'll be fine. None the wiser.
Look at when you take over or under. That's not. I mean, we're going to get in trouble. I can take both. Okay, that's a good call.
Yeah, that's smart. You're looking for the ARB opportunity. That's a good strategy. That's some detailed thinking. You can get ARB opportunities as well by signing up at Odds Shopper. We've got a live ARBs tool. Lucas talking ARBs. You want to take the over and the under? You can do that if you can find positive on both sides and lock in those profits. The link to sign up for Odds Shopper is in the description of this video. Get 15% off. Hunt ARBs like Luca hunts ARBs. Thanks for leading me into that one, brother.
Hunting ARBs.
Yeah, okay. That's it. It's a hit. You want to do an ad read, Luca? Do you want to say everybody go check out Tails right now? Would Pikachu be on Tails? Yeah, Pikachu would love Tails. Ooh. Electric picks, some could say, from Pikachu.
They would be good. They would be good. I'm more of a Charmander dude, but it's fine.
We like Charmander too, right? Squirtle.
I was going to say Squirtle, but I can't.
Oh, see? Look, Luca giving you laughs. The chat maybe not giving you the respect, but Luca will.
The chat has been giving me respect with laughs for as long as I've been doing live streams. That part I'm never, ever worried about. Not at all. The only
Other than
thing
the
that
people of Flint, Michigan.
when I do this stream, there's only one thing. That's it. I'm worried about you guys signing up for the Stokastic props tool using the promo code PROPS7, which is in the link in this description. You can get the Stokastic props tool for nothing for the next 7 days. Been cranking out winners like crazy. Massive prize picks cards over the last 2 days. And it's not just me. Everybody that's been touching this one. Go check out what Lofty's been dropping. He went crazy betting live EV yesterday. We are crushing it on the betting tool side. I tell you guys every morning, we're crushing it on the DFS side. I share those screenshots. Get yourselves in here for no cost whatsoever. We've got 3 minutes to go until we get to a very abrupt 4-game lock at this point. We've got Greg Ehrenberg coming up next for Live After Lock. You guys have not had a lot of Greg Ehrenberg in your lives recently. He is back to take you guys to the promised land for the rest of tonight. Spags, who is your most exposed player for today? Do you have that information handy?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. I think people should be impressed that I am still, in fact, building 25 lineups tonight, which I would like to have be of decent quality. Clint Capella is my most exposed guy. Reed Shepard, number 2. And then a bunch of guys around 50%. Kevin Durant, Mitchell Robinson, Amin Thompson, Bagley, Jabari Smith. That is if you want to steal my portfolio, guys, tonight you can, because I don't have clever things to say anymore. I'm just worried about my child being here and somehow injuring himself. I don't know what's going on, guys.
It's going to be fun. You were going to make bad lineups one way or the other, so at least you've got an excuse now.
I've been on fire lately. Me and Ty Jerome have both been on fire.
I'm going to take that more literally than figuratively, and you accidentally burned yourself at some point, but you're using it to your advantage in this scenario.
Self-immolation.
Could be.
That's what I'll be doing tonight.
I don't think you're allowed to say that in front of him.
He doesn't know immolation or self, right? You don't know the word immolation.
I don't know. I don't even know what it means.
Okay, you could say it.
I mean, that's pretty good.
I'm impressed that he could say immolation. I don't think we've tested the word out very often, but Charmander, he's a self-immolator.
Of course he is. I mean, like, that's, I did it earlier. If that's what it is.
It's a different kind of fire inside.
Yes, it's in my loins. In my loins. Folks, I appreciate you guys being here. There's a weird slate for tonight. If we would have had those 10 o'clock games, this would have been a real tricky one to think about saving any of the ownership for later, the amount of chalk that we have in some of this early Houston stuff. Luke is getting excited. These games lock in less than a minute. His lineups must already be in. This is where Spags is opening that second account. You guys should make sure that you have your lineups in, because you have 58 and change seconds. Nope, not and change. There is less change there than there was before. If you don't get your lineups in right now, you're in some trouble. There's no way to swap to anything good after this. There's no saving grace for just having the final game. You are cooked if you are not in. Johnny Rose says overexposed to Toppin. Oops, you shouldn't be exposed to Obi Toppin at all. He is wildly unplayable for today and not even starting for your Indiana Pacers. Don't do that.
No,
Don't do that. Swap that out in 20 seconds.
If you're Toppin, that lineup's going to be bottoming.
That's a weird one. Well, on that note, there's absolutely no way that I am in any position to continue the show after what just happened there. That's going to do it for NBA Live Before Lock. We couldn't be any luckier that this show just hit the 7:30 mark, which means Greg Ehrenberg, come on down, save Chris Spags from losing his child to protective services for the things being said on a gambling stream.
Yeah, you better leave right now. This could be evidence used in court in some kind of way against you, Spags. You never really know. But yeah, happy to be back doing the NBA show. Hadn't played. The only DFS I've played this week was PGA, and my most rostered golfer, Colin Morikawa, withdraws after one hole. So one thing that was funny about it is I had people DMing me about signing up for other packages, and there was people who were abandoning PGA to play for NBA for something safer, where they wouldn't have to worry about things like that happening. So yeah, we're going to see. I'm very interested what the Rockets starting lineup is. That's something we're gonna have to keep an eye on the post-lock show. We'll build out some parlays in the props tool. So guys, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Josh and Spags, have a good weekend.
Later on,
Bye,
brother.
Greg.
Enjoy yourself. Welcome back.
Say bye,
All
Luca.
right.
Bye, Luca.
Bye, Daddy.
Oh.
Later, guys. Later, guys. It's got to be close to his bedtime or something by now. All right, guys. Happy to be back. I was working this week at our Chicago office. So we've got some cool stuff in the works as far as products coming out and some stuff that I'm going to be showing for you guys in the coming days and weeks as well. And also, want to let you guys know that for the NBA props tool, running a free trial today. Want to get this in the hands of as many of you guys as possible. So the props tool that I use to not only place my own same game parlays, but also what you guys see me use here on screen, 7-day free trial if you sign up with the promo code PROP7. So take advantage of that. 7 days, totally free. Just check out at Stokastic on the sign up page with the promo code there, PROP7, and just enter it in the NBA weekly. And that's just going to get you 7 days here for free. So, yeah, NY Stiegel saying MLB content. A little early for MLB just because, you know, like what DFS content are we going to be doing for tomorrow or anything like that? But yeah, of course, we'll have MLB stuff coming up. Yeah. Sean, not quite playback. That one's outside of my control entirely. But yeah, let's start diving into this. And shout out to Jason, by the way, left the super chat, says, just want to say thanks. And absolutely, man, absolutely. Appreciate it. Appreciate all you guys sticking around and watching the shows here. So, Rich just said we got the starting lineup for Houston. It is Dorian Finney-Smith in the starting lineup. So let's see what we have for the starting five then. So let's see. Who's not starting then? Let's see. Did this get tweeted out? Not quite yet. Oh, not official yet, but looking like it. Okay. And then what's the starting five, Rich? Is it Dorian Finney-Smith and Eason coming off the bench, or is it Reed Shepherd coming off the bench? We got Rich breaking news ahead of the internet. New Houston Rockets beat reporter Rich Green. Let's see. All right, so we've got a starting five of presumably. Yeah, I mean, I know Şengün is out, but I'm trying to figure out who the entire starting five is going to be. So let's go to the data hub really quick. Here's what we had projected previously. All right. So for us, we had as the starting five projected to be so this is why I was trying to figure out who he's starting in place of. So here was our projected starting five for the Rockets. We had Durant, Thompson, Reed Shepherd, Jabari Smith, Tari Eason. So what I'm trying to figure out is who is it that Dorian Finney-Smith is starting in place of relative to our projected starting lineup? Is it Reed Shepherd or Tari Eason? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because either way, one of these five guys isn't starting anymore. Is it Shepherd or is it Eason? Rich is saying it is Reed not starting. All right. Oh, it just came out. Okay. Here we go. We've got the starting five. Amen Thompson, Tari Eason, Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith, and Dorian Finney-Smith. Your starting center now for the Houston Rockets. So Dorian Finney-Smith, who was previously projected for 0% ownership. That's a number that's going to be coming up. We had him projected for 13 fantasy points at $3,600. Now, I want to reiterate, I don't think this all of a sudden makes Dorian Finney-Smith some sort of like smash play on the slate. Because Dorian Finney-Smith, look at our projection on him, 0.59 fantasy points per minute. It's pretty poor. So the real impact here, Clint Capella, I assume, is probably going to be projected for 20-ish minutes now. Maybe something like that. Because even though, if you look at our projections, and we didn't know exactly what the starting lineup was going to be, but we did not have Capella projected to start. But this is an indication that Houston's going to be playing a little bit smaller of lineup. So I would presume we end up projecting Capella for somewhere around 20 minutes. And now Reed Shepherd coming off the bench is probably going to be projected for still like fairly decent minutes, maybe like 30 or something like that. And then Dorian Finney-Smith probably projected for like mid to high 20s minutes, something like that. And Capella's still a good option. He's just not going to be quite as good of an option as what he was before. So I'm pretty interested to see what we do for our minutes projections here. And then as soon as we get that, it is definitely going to be something that I'm going to be doing late swaps for, because I had a ton of Clint Capella. Once again, still want to have Capella, but not quite as much as what I had before, because I had 72% of Capella in my last run. So we'll see what that looks like. In the interim, while we are waiting for a projections update, let's build out a same game parlay, and we could do one for DraftKings and FanDuel today. And once again, keep in mind, guys, that if you do want to sign up for the props tool, you could get a 7-day free trial. 7 days totally free with the promo code PROPS7, PROPS7. And Lankeezy saying it's because it's props7. So with an S, prop7, PROPS7. But yeah, it was probably a little bit confusing to do one with the plural. But that's a good note to know for the future, to not like pluralize any of the props. But props7, not prop7. Understand the confusion. All right, Jay, jumping in on the trial. Absolutely happy to have you. All right, let's see what we could do here. Let's try to build something out for FanDuel to start. And let's look at the late game on the slate. Chicago and the Clippers. This is a game, or at least as of right now, we don't have all that much to be concerned with as far as injuries go. Whereas like Minnesota, Golden State, obviously, we've got DeAnthony Melton still questionable for that game. So let's look at the late game right now. Chicago and the Clippers. And I think there's a three-leg parlay boost available over on FanDuel. So we should have time to build this one out pretty quick with the props tool. And then by the time we go back to the projections, it should probably be updated for Clint Capella not starting, Reed Shepherd not starting, and Dorian Finney-Smith being in the starting lineup. It's funny, if you gave me a handful of guesses for what the Rockets starting five was going to be, it would take me a few guesses before I would have gotten the Dorian Finney-Smith as being the guy for them today. But all right, so what do we have for FanDuel? Oh, it actually doesn't even have to be. Oh, no, it does have to be a same game parlay. Okay. Well, what do we have here for some of the top projected bets in this game? By the way, this is also a game where I like taking some unders for the blowout angle, because this game potentially to be massively lopsided, which that's the case with a bunch of games today. Of the 8 games that are on the slate, we have, 5 of the 8 games being played today have a spread of 12.5 or longer. So with that said, let's take some unders that project well in this game. There's a handful of them, and we're going to be hoping this game turns into a blowout. So the top projected unders that we have here, Brook Lopez, Josh Giddey. We could just go right off the top ones. I'm going to actually stay away from the Benedict Mathurin one just because he's a little bit less impacted by the blowout. I think we get more correlation by going down to Kawhi. And then we've got 3 players here in Brook Lopez, Josh Giddey, and Kawhi Leonard, all of whom would be playing less minutes in a blowout, and they already project well individually as bets. So let's see what this comes out to with the boost. We get to Brook Lopez under 1.5 threes. That's available. Still, we've got the Josh Giddey under 8.5 assists. And then we've got under 6.5 rebounds for Kawhi Leonard, that one being plus money. And that gets us to plus 754 with the boost, which is going to come out, a pretty decent amount ahead of our break-even point. So we've got 15.6% is our fair odds here. So anything better than plus 550, plus 541 is going to be value according to our fair odds. And we get this at plus 754. So let's plug it in. And I'll post this to Tails as well. And then we'll go and look at the projections and see what it's looking like for Tari Eason now and for Clint Capella, Reed Shepherd. Projections not quite updated yet, though. So I guess we'll have to sit on it for another minute. But I'll post this to Tails to make it easier for you guys to follow this bet. Once again, it was Brook Lopez under 1.5 threes. We've got Josh Giddey under 8.5 assists. and Kawhi Leonard under 6.5 rebounds. If you guys want to find it, as I'm posting it to Tails right now, you can either download the Tails app or just go to tails.bet. And as you guys know by now, all of that is free. And that will be up on Tails in about 5 seconds. And let's go see if the projection update has hit yet. Not quite yet. All right, so let's make some assumptions here on what we are going to make of the other Houston Rockets guys, just in general for today, because keep in mind, there is going to be no Alperen Şengün tonight for the Houston Rockets. So let's look just at some of the NBA rates for this team when there is no Şengün on the court. And that'll also just give us some things to look at while we wait for the projections to update and figure out who are some of the other guys that benefit other than just the obvious ones that we've got. Peanut butter. Can I include the Pelicans? So this isn't going to change anything about the Pelicans, just so you know. Choke Hold'em. Capella still, yeah. So Capella is still a good option. It's just not as good as if he was starting. But he's still a very playable option. But before, when I had like 70% of Capella, like that is going to be a number that comes down for me. He's still a good option. He's going to be one of my most rostered players. I'm just presumably going to be getting a little bit less of him. All right. Let's see here. Let's take Şengün off the court. Let's see what some of the rates look like now. See who is gaining the most. All right, so if we look at some of the data here, no real massive surprise. Like this is what we would think is most logical. Kevin Durant gets the biggest boost here. So we got Kevin Durant. Look at this. 30.8% usage rate, about a 4% usage increase for Kevin Durant. That's pretty substantial. Fantasy points per 36 minutes, 5.5 additional fantasy points for him. That's a really big number. Reed Shepherd kind of unchanged. Tari Eason does see a decent boost. You get 37.7 fantasy points out of 30 per 36 minutes as opposed to 34 for Eason. So that puts him over a fantasy point per minute. So pretty decent change that you're getting for Tari Eason with there being no Şengün on the court. So people might look at this and wonder, why does nothing change for Capella? Well, the reason nothing changes for Capella for his per minute rates is because he doesn't play basketball with Şengün anyway. So Capella, the impact to him is just more minutes with Şengün out, but no change to his rates because we don't anticipate them playing together in pretty much any situation anyway. Other guys that see usage bumps here, there's the Tari Eason bump. Jabari Smith's usage goes from 17.8% to 19.2%. You've got the slight Reed Shepherd boost, slight Amin Thompson boost. So there's so much that Şengün does for this team that's a boost really across the board for all of these guys, with Durant seeing the biggest boost overall. And then as far as rebounds go, yeah, you see Eason, 8.5 rebounds per 36 minutes to 9.7. Jabari Smith from 7.1 to 7.9. Durant from 5.4 to 6.7. So lots of players that see increases there. And we just got a projections update to hit us as well. So let's refresh this and see what we've got for the Houston guys now. All right. So for Houston now, we've got Clint Capella in for 24 minutes. We lowered Clint Capella's minutes by 1. We've got Dorian Finney-Smith in for 22 minutes now, which still does not have him projecting really well. And Capella, once again, 25 fantasy points for Capella in 24 minutes. So it's a slight downgrade to him because before we had Capella projected for, I guess we didn't really change Capella all that much. Yeah, we had him at like 24 and a half minutes before, and now he's at 24 flat. Okay. Let's see what else we have here for some of the other guys. We've got Reed. Actually, Reed Shepherd doesn't look like we changed his minutes either. Let me message the data team really quick. Let's see. Let me just make sure that we have the update for the starting lineup. And I'll let you guys know what the data team says here. All right, just messaged them to ask if the Houston projections are updated. Because at least as of right now, it looks pretty similar to before. Let's look at some of the live scoring and see what it is that's happening in the real time here. Really, Mitchell Robinson already at 6 rebounds. All right, I'll take that. Mitchell Robinson is my most rostered player on the entire slate, so I'll be happy with anything good that Mitchell Robinson does. This is a very Mitchell Robinson stat line. 2 points and 6 rebounds. I'll take it. I'm more than happy to have that. Mitchell Robinson for sure. Let's see. So what did I have before running updates? Yeah, so, I mean, this isn't going to change, but I have Mitchell Robinson in 80% of lineups. That has to stick because his game is already locked, but feel pretty good about that right now. And another bucket and rebound for Mitchell Robinson. Leading fantasy scorer on the slate, 12 fantasy points for Mitchell Robinson. There's almost nobody doing anything on this slate other than Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson is 12.2 fantasy points. Najee Marshall is 10.25, and nobody else is more than 7.7 right now. Keep it going, Mitchell Robinson. Keep it going. See if we have any other updates here. Not at the moment, so I'm going to have to run a late swap soon here. All right, so projections are updated now. Okay, so I'm going to start running late swaps now. We should be good to go, guys. Data team says it's all updated. So let's run these updates, and I'll let you know what changes for me. I will see what ends up being different. So based on the projection we have here for Capella, we still have him at 25 fantasy points and change. Yeah, he's still going to show up in a bunch of lineups for me. I thought he was going to end up being a little bit lower. So let's see. Run this through. See what happens. Andrew Jennison. Why is it on some days you can import lineup pools from DK contests and have to generate pools for late swap? Yeah, so it just kind of has to do with the sometimes the lineup pools end up getting pulled in quickly. Other times they don't. I don't really have a better answer than that in particular. All right. Kick this off. So what are you guys going to do with Clint Capella? Obviously, still is going to look good, but how much less of him are we going to get to now? I'm going to lower his projection a little bit. I'm a little bit lower on his minutes than we are with our projections here. Oh, we actually did one more projections update just now. Let's see if that changed anything. Let's see. Nah, still the same. All right. We've only got 10 minutes left, so I'm running everything. Just messaging the data team right now while I run everything through. And once again for you guys, Dorian Finney-Smith, we have projected for 22 minutes and 13 fantasy points. All right. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, don't mind that. Don't mind that Shepard is listed as the starter there. If there's another projections update, then I'll run it again. But if nothing else changes here, then I'm just gonna run it with these current projections. See if there's any questions in Discord as we go here. If you guys do have questions for me in Discord, just tag me and I'll answer any questions that you have. Absolutely, no doubt about it. And then also, don't forget, you can sign up with the promo code PROPS7, PROPS7, and get access to these tools totally free for 7 days. Just check out with the promo code, and then also make sure you select the weekly package when you do sign up. Let's see. Ben Bradley says there's new projections and ownership. Yeah, still looks pretty similar. Yeah, so the ownership is, so we do have ownership updated now. But projections still look pretty similar. Don't be soy. Greg, how did I get to 80% of Mitchell Robinson? He played 50 of them. I was pretty high on Mitchell Robinson today. Like I make some adjustments to so like right now I'm lowering the projection on Clint Capella a little bit, for instance. But I always make, well, not always, but I'll often make some manual adjustments. Dan did say it is Friday the 13th. Wasn't there Friday the 13th last month too? Or am I remembering wrong? All right. So what ended up happening on the update? So I got a little bit less of Capella, still a good amount of him, but I went from about 70% of Clint Capella to 54% with some of the tinkering that I did on that last update. I'll run this through the late swap tool one more time. And looks like we also just had one more projections update that came through. Let's see if that changed anything with Capella at all. Let's see. So Capella, we did just lower Capella's minutes down to 21, which puts him at 22.46 fantasy points. So if you guys do rerun this, which I recommend you do, we did just lower our projection on Clint Capella a little bit. And now he's actually pretty close to being in line with what I was doing to project him. See what else here for the Houston guys. Okay, so for Houston, we've now got Kevin Durant for about the same. We got Reed Shepard's projection came down a little bit. We went from 33.5 minutes to 31 on him. We put Clint Capella from the 24 minutes and change down to 21. Dorian Finney-Smith now up to 26 minutes, but still doesn't really make him a viable option here. EMAC, how's your internet doing there?
It seems to be holding. Thank you. It is. My poor little computer fan is just running nonstop, but I think it'll work. So,
all right. Did you play DFS today?
I did. I played a lot today, which is why I was panicking.
All right, so I'm just doing one projections update, or sorry, one late swap update here, and then I should be good. So Emac, I'll have you help me build out a DraftKings same game parlay, and then we are going to call it a night after we get lineups updated. By the way, if anybody has questions for me as you update your lineups in the next few minutes, let me know. I do recommend you do one more late swap in the next few minutes because we did just do a projections and ownership update, which is going to move some stuff around. So you guys should go ahead and take advantage of that. I have my final number on Clint Capella. We came up a little bit in that last run. Actually, I like the other run that did better. So I'm going to keep with about 50% of Clint Capella. Oh, Capella over Dorian Finney-Smith for sure. Like, look at our projections. We've got a pretty decent gap between them. Talked about it before. Dorian Finney-Smith's a really poor fantasy producer. Dorian Finney-Smith, we have projected for 15.71 fantasy points, and Capella for 22.46. 6.5 fantasy point projection difference is a massive, massive gap. Like, if you took a chance on Dorian Finney-Smith, it's not the end of the world, but Capella's a way, way better option, in my opinion. Bob saying Mobley. Well, that is a huge first quarter. Let me see. What do I have of Mobley?
I'm guessing not enough.
I've got 25% of him. I'm happy with that. What does he own, though? Let's see. He is 30% owned. So I'm about even with the field. Yeah. A little bit underweight because I had the 25% versus 30. All right. If there's no other questions here for us, let's build out the DraftKings same game parlay. And then we'll call it a night, Emac. How about that?
That's perfect.
Emac,
watch little Netflix and do my first MLB draft, hence the shirt. So.
I'll let you pick, Emac. What do you want to do for DraftKings? Which game do you want to look at? The only caveat is well, it's going to be two caveats. We already built one out for Chicago and the Clippers, and then we'll pass on New Orleans, Houston, because that game locks in 2 minutes.
Okay, so you're saying my Matt Buzelis over 5.5 rebounds is not going to be a viable pick.
You got two choices for same game parlay: Minnesota Golden State or Utah Portland.
Utah Portland.
All right, Utah Portland it is. And as far as injuries go in this game, we do have Time Lord listed as questionable, which, you know, matters a little bit, but that's not somebody who, like, Time Lord gets ruled out and then it massively changes the rates of the starters for Portland or anything like that. So I don't think it's anything that we have to be, you know, avoiding in any kind of real significant way for this game here. And once again, if we want to build a parlay out for a blowout angle, certainly makes sense. Portland is a 15.5 point favorite over Utah. Do you like a blowout angle here, Emac? Should we take some unders and go for another blowout?
I think the under on Jeremy Grant PRA, if that's available, or are we only looking at what's in the?
Yeah, we're building it off the tools here.
All right, so I would take Jeremy Grant under rebounds and assists.
Okay, so Emac wants so let's go with the blowout angle then. And we could go with, this is when I had my video too, is Denny Avdia under 6.5 assists. Portland's already been pretty cautious with Avdia's minutes since he's come back from injury. And now you've got a game where they're 15.5 point favorites at home against Utah. In the event that we see this game won comfortably by the Blazers, I don't think that we see any fourth quarter action from Denny Avdia. So I think it makes sense to include him in this. And then, by the way, as far as the NBA boost on DraftKings, it has to be a 4-leg parlay. Minimum odds are plus 300, which is pretty easy to hit when you're doing 4 legs. So we've got 2 legs in here so far. Denny Avdia under 6.5 assists. Jeremy Grant under 5.5 RA per Emac's choice there. Who else? What other projections here do you like the unders on that you think could look good in a blowout situation?
I think the under on. Well, I like the over the other side. Well, do we have Collier here? Sorry, I'm not as swift on these filters. Collier. No, I don't want to do Collier. I would like to do Scoot Henderson.
Which Scoot Henderson prop?
Under rebounds and assists.
All right, let me just check one thing though. Has Scoot Henderson been playing in blowout time lately?
So
interestingly, he is not.
Yeah, they've been yanking his minutes around. So I think he's a candidate to not play late if it's lopsided.
The last 2 blowouts that Portland was in, they lost to the Hawks by 34 points on March 1st. They beat the Pacers by 20 points on March 8th. In both of those games, Scoot Henderson did not play at the end of the game. So with that in mind, we could take this under here on Scoot Henderson as well. I think there's a little bit of sense to that. And then for the final prop here, let's see if Cody Williams has been playing in garbage time for the Jazz. I think the answer is no on that. But let's see. Yeah. The last time there was a true blowout of a Jazz game, they lost by 20 to the Rockets, and Cody Williams didn't step on the court in the fourth quarter of that one. So let's go with Cody Williams for under 2.5 assists, and that is going to give us a plus 1,500 parlay. Jeremy Grant under 5.5 rebounds plus assists. Denny Avdia under 6.5 assists. Scoot Henderson under 6.5 rebounds plus assists. A lot of assist unders here. So we're hoping for no passing in this game, Emac. All isolation ball, and we should be good.
Yes, or people make they do more than, or they make more than a basketball move. I forget what the exact phrasing is, but once upon a time I was a stat keeper because of course I was. But when you do an assist, if the player holds the ball or generates a move on their own, that's not part of the flow of whatever the play is, that you don't get an assist for it. So it's got to be think of it like continuation. So we could get that. We could get good passing and just no assists. Chainsaw, I see you, my buddy. That I'm so how fortuitous this Friday the 13th Magic, Greg. Saul was asking for me to make a guest appearance. Remember, like a week or two ago. Yeah, here I am randomly testing my computer.
Ask and you shall receive. All right, which one am I missing here? Oh, Jeremy Grant. I'm missing Jeremy Grant. That's the final leg here. So with the boost on DraftKings, this comes out to be plus 1680, Emac. Plus 1680. They let me get $7 down on it. So $7 to win $127. And if you guys want to use these tools for yourself, go check out for the Stokastic NBA Props Weekly Package. Enter the promo code PROPS7, PROPS7. And that is going to get you 1 week for free. If you guys want to catch Emac tomorrow on Live Before Lock, he will be on with Chris Spags. And then on Sunday, it'll be Emac and I on NBA Live Before Lock. If you guys haven't done it yet, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Good luck. Have a great weekend. Later, guys.